So you want to know about Andorra? Welcome to Opentiera. Join us in our journey through this small but mighty country. Nestled high in the scenic Pyrenees mountains between France and Spain, this tiny nation will surprise you. In this video, we'll explore Andorra's dramatic landscapes, fascinating ancient and modern history, unique Catalan culture, winter sports dominance, and much more. Get ready for our comprehensive guide to this often overlooked European microstate. Andorra is the highest and one of the smallest countries in Europe, nestled high in the scenic Pyrenees mountains between France and Spain. At just 181 square miles, it packs stunning alpine scenery into a tiny area. Some of Andorra's most famous landmarks are its soaring mountain peaks, including the tallest, Pic de Coma Pedrosa, standing at 9,652 feet. Rushing rivers like the Gran Valira carve through dramatic valleys, lined with quaint stone villages and parishes. Despite its small size, Andorra contains great geological diversity across its three main areas: the rocky northern Valira River Valley, the glacial Massana Valley, and the barely accessible high alpine Parc Natural Comunal de les Vals del Coma Pedrosa in the southeast. But all regions of Andorra showcase breathtaking snow-capped mountain vistas and lush green pastures during summer. Andorra's early history is shrouded in myth and legend. Some say Charlemagne, the first Holy Roman Emperor, granted independence to the Andorrans in the 8th century for fighting against the Moors. Others credit Charlemagne's son Louis the Pious as Andorra's founder for establishing Andorra's first rulers in the 9th century, the Count of Urgell and the Bishop of Seu d'Urgell. Despite its obscurity, Andorra maintained autonomy for centuries thanks to its isolated location nestled in the Pyrenees. The country was largely isolated and only accessible by mule tracks and smugglers' routes for much of its history. Its unique co-ruler system, featuring the Bishop of Urgell in Spain and the Count of Foix in France as co-princes, dates back to medieval times. The formal establishment of this arrangement does not have a specific recorded date, but it has historically provided stability. Despite enduring conflicts between France and Spain over the centuries, it has maintained its sovereignty and neutrality, owing much to this co-principality governance structure. Andorra began emerging from isolation in the early 20th century, adopting its first written constitution in 1993, which retained the co-princes system. Tourism also opened it up economically starting in the 1930s, launching its growth into the prosperous country it is today. Andorra has been strongly influenced by neighboring France and Spain, yet still retains a unique culture all its own. Catalan is the official language, reflecting ties to Spain, and is spoken by 89% of Andorrans. But French, Spanish, Portuguese, and English are also widely spoken today due to immigration over the centuries. While Andorra remains largely homogeneous, with over 75% of the population being Andorran nationals, the low birth rate relies on immigration to sustain the population. Andorra's economy relies heavily on tourism, which exploded after the country opened up to the outside world in the early 1900s. Over 10 million tourists now visit Andorra each year to take in the fresh mountain air, shop duty-free, and enjoy winter sports. Tourism accounts for 80% of Andorra's $3 billion GDP, directly and even more indirectly. As a tax haven, Andorra also attracts shoppers from France and Spain with tax-free goods. Despite being one of Europe's smallest countries, Andorra has the 19th highest GDP per capita in the world. The economy is predominantly service-based, dominated by commerce, tourism, and banking. However, Andorra's unique economy faces challenges from global efforts to crack down on tax havens. Recent banking reforms have brought more transparency, but it remains to be seen how Andorra will adapt to global regulatory pressure. While commerce thrives in Andorra today, agriculture also has ancient roots here. Cattle herding in the high mountain pastures has been practiced since medieval times. While only 1% of land is arable, agriculture is still renowned for quality tobacco, as well as pork, sheep, and beef products. Andorra has enjoyed relative political stability for centuries thanks to its isolation and small size. It has no standing army and depends on France and Spain for defense. The President of France and the Bishop of Urgell serve as Andorra's co-princes in a unique power-sharing arrangement originating in 1278. While Andorra is not a member of the European Union, it uses the euro and has expanded its participation globally since 1993, joining the UN and Council of Europe. However, concerns have arisen in recent years over Andorra's tax haven status, banking secrecy practices enabling potential money laundering, lack of transparency, monopolies, and other economic policies. Reforms have been passed, but critics argue more change is still needed. Andorran cuisine reflects influences from Catalan cuisine in Spain and mountainous French fare. Andorra's signature dish, trinxat, is a delightful blend of cabbage, potatoes, and bacon or pancetta, mashed and fried to perfection, offering a comforting and flavorful meal. Another winter favorite is escudella, a hearty stew brimming with a variety of meats, sausages, and vegetables, often enjoyed during festive celebrations. Cheese enthusiasts will find joy in Andorra's assortment of cheeses like formatge de tupi, while the locally sourced river trout, grilled or pan-fried, provides a delectable taste of the region's freshwater offerings. Delight in festive desserts, such as the almond-based carquinyolis. Complement these treats with ratafia, a popular anise-based liqueur, adding a flavorful endnote to your culinary journey. Andorra's culinary identity reflects its historical heritage and mountainous landscape, offering simple yet rich dishes using locally sourced ingredients. From trinxat to escudella, the cuisine here is a delightful blend of tradition and mountain-inspired flavors, inviting you to explore and savor each unique dish. Catholicism has heavily influenced Andorran culture and heritage. Romanesque church architecture and religious sculptures abound. Dramatic natural landscapes have spiritual resonance, and Christmas nativity scenes and celebrations are an important tradition. Ancient folk dances like the contrapass and maraxta are also iconic Andorran traditions. Catholicism's influence on Andorran culture and history is reflected by the 7 parishes that remain today. Some of Andorra's most iconic historical sites are its beautiful Romanesque churches, dating back to medieval times, like the Cathedral of Our Lady of Meritxell. While Andorra is proud of tradition, Andorran culture also balances incorporating modernity. The country hosts big festivals like the Escaldes Engordany Jazz Festival and boasts contemporary facilities like the modern Caldea Thermaludic Spa. Other cultural activities include winter festivals and hiking the network of mountain trails crossing the valleys. Andorra has been a consistent participant in the Winter Olympics since 1976. Showcasing competitive athletes in various disciplines, such as alpine skiing, snowboarding, and mogul skiing. While achieving notable performances in these events, Andorra's athletes have demonstrated strength and dedication, contributing to the country's growing presence on the Winter Olympic stage. If you enjoyed this video on Andorra, you'll love this next one.